and to transform negative emotions into powerful dialogue, resulting in better relationships with others. Heidi says she still struggles with effective communication, especially when emotions are strong and the stakes are high, but she is much better now because of this training. This is speech number 6, vocal variety, and the goal is to use her voice to complement her message by enhancing her pace, pitch, power, and pauses. The speech is 5 to 7 minutes long. Please welcome Heidi.
The key to a healthy, quality life is maintaining and sustaining quality, healthy relationships. It's really not easy to do. If you have several relationships in your life that are longer than 10 years old, congratulations, because that is not easy to do. And I'll tell you why. It's not hard when all we talk about is the weather, current events, pleasantries. But when we get into a discussion with someone who we have some sort of connection to, and it gets emotional, and the stakes are high, 2 things happen. Many things happen actually. We have a biological response that kicks in, and it's that primitive flight or fight response. And this worked out really well for us when we were battling giant reptiles and saber-toothed tigers, or living in the mountains and there were mountain lions and cougars. Essentially, when our body or our mind perceives a threat to our life, it's either on or off. Either everything is good or we're going to die. And a whole series of biochemical reactions occur. Our respiration goes up, our blood pressure goes up, we release glucose into the system. All of the blood rushes out of non-essential functions, and that would be digestion, your immune system, and your brain. And it's rushing out to your arms and your legs because you're going to get ready here to fight or run, one or the other. The problem is in modern society, we don't get to fight and we don't get to run very often. And all of those chemicals and toxins build up in the body. And worse, getting back to this conversation where all of a sudden it's emotional. All the blood that's usually floating around in our head and giving us oxygen is gone. And I used to think it was just me, that when things started to get a little stressful, my brain quit working. And I learned it happens to all of us. It happens to all of us. The blood is gone. It's an involuntary response that we really can't control to a point. At least this is how we were born. We're probably also influenced by how we were brought up. There's usually 2 responses to an emotional situation. Forget fight or flight, because we don't do that anymore. There's my favorite, silence. Silence is characterized by withdrawal, removal of the situation, or my favorite, no, nothing's wrong. It's great. Fine, good. No, it's okay. It's okay. The other side of that, maybe your favorite, is violence. Not physical, but aggressive communication, hostility, sarcasm, name-calling, you know the drill. Neither of these results in an effective dialogue with the person who is creating the stress in your life, who's threatening your self-esteem, who is maybe threatening your whole emotional balance. So how do we break this pattern? How do we change this? And of course, we have to relax. And I can't think of anything that makes me angrier when I'm angry than my partner saying to me, can you just calm down? Can you relax? No, I can't. That's the problem. But what I have learned, and I cannot tell you all the things I learned from the Crucial Conversations workshop, because it takes hours and hours, skilled trainers, which I am not, and a whole lot of practice. But the two things that I think are essential, the first is don't react. You are going to be emotional, and you're going to feel that emotion. You know, I know, as soon as the conversation is threatening to me, I can feel my blood pressure go up, I feel my heart rate rise, and I get into defensive mode. And that's when I stop, and I do take a deep breath. And the second thing is, I remind myself that the person who is causing me the stress at the moment is really a pretty good person. They're a decent person, they're a kind person, they're usually a person I really like and admire, I may even love, just not at this moment. But I do remind myself of that, and I don't talk, I listen. And that gives me more time to calm down, relax, and try and understand the perspective of the other person. And then we work together. We try to resolve the situation, and I would love to tell you that I do this all the time. I had a situation just yesterday where someone called me into their office, a colleague, and that's the first sign. When someone says, "Can we talk?" Oh boy. Sure. You know it's not going to be good. So we sat down and she began to tell me several of my failings and flaws, and in not constructive criticism, because she's not really gifted either. And I found myself going through getting worked up emotionally and reminding myself, don't react, don't react. She's really trying to help. Her intentions are good here. And I think I got through that situation okay. I responded appropriately. I said, thank you, I appreciate hearing this, and I'll try to do better next time. She had a couple valid points. I share this because it is something I struggle with, and I think most of us do. And if we can't work together one-on-one, then we can't work together in a community either. And I think it starts in those individual relationships. Well, I know it does. And we role model for our children. And one of the problems is most of us grew up in households where our parents weren't really effective communicators either, so what do we know? But if we could start that process and demonstrate this is how it's done, it has a ripple effect, and it improves our community.